In 2017, I played Star Ocean Integrity and Faithlessness and put the game down after about 5 hours. I'm not sure why I did that, but 2 years later, on July 5th, 2019, I gave the game another shot, and I did not beat it. So in this here spoiler-filled video, this is why Axelrod couldn't finish Star Ocean Integrity and Faithlessness. The first issue comes into my confusion, and it starts with roles. They're kind of a mix between equipable items and gambits from Final Fantasy XII. You can equip them to gain stats, and they're kind of like gambits because they change the way your character works a little bit when they're being controlled by the AI. My issue comes in where they get progressively confusing on use, verbiage, and the functionality of how that verbiage is being applied. Some examples are Beast Slayer, Sharpshooter, Vanguard, and I'll show some other ones as well. But the creme de la creme of confusion really comes in when I get an item called Red Talisman, which I'm super confused about, so let me know if you can figure out what that does.
Keep it up.
Hard to do when there's a barrier here. When it comes to cutscenes, I get kind of confused here as well because they kind of take this weird director approach. You can move around during cutscenes while characters are talking, you can move the camera around, and you can kind of zoom in on what's going on. The blocking or the position of where all the characters are is kind of undesirable for this particular technique because it's really difficult to get every character in the scene and be able to see them at a relatively good zoom without cutting someone out. My issue in large really comes into how they restrict saving when it comes to cutscenes. Now I realize you can't save in cutscenes in any other game, and I'm not really expecting that here, but when this game restricts saving before and after cutscenes, that's where issues start to arise. For me, I've died several times after sequences where the game said I couldn't save, and almost all of them are because of cutscenes.
Could it be what? No, it's nothing worth mentioning.
No, it is worth mentioning. Save point right here that you're not letting me use. Jerks. This game does some stupid stuff. Speaking of more unenjoyable stuff, I didn't really like the combat all too much. It's kind of simplistic and it's kind of reminiscent of Tales of combat, but for whatever reason, I just didn't think it was complex enough, or maybe it just didn't grab my eye enough. The weapon triangle of strong beating guard, guard beating weak, and weak beating strong just didn't seem like it was a very efficient use of your time. The AI is pretty unreliable as there's lots of standing around. They run away from enemies, they stand around, and they run back in, do 3 attacks, and then they stand around. There's some protect Anne sequences that I like to call them, where you have to protect Anne. And I encountered 3 of these in my 12 hours of play, and none of them were particularly enjoyable because they all had something for me to hate about them. Even if they were easy, something that came after it became super difficult, and I needed to hate the protect Anne sequence because it probably didn't let me save. When it comes to the very end, it's the Dare Sul fight that really just tipped me over the edge. This is a fight that comes in a dungeon where you save at the very end of the dungeon, then you go through the final door, you encounter a cutscene, you do a fight, you do a cutscene, and then you do a fight with Dare Sul, this crazy guy that has a crazy amount of HP, infinite spawning enemies, there's crazy damage going all over the place. The AI is particularly pinpoint on what they want to do, and is suiciding all the time because she can't help it. My healers can't heal because of all the pinpoint interruptions on their casting, and when I die, I go back approximately 7 minutes to the dungeon where I saved at, where I gotta go through those 3-4 cutscenes, gotta do that fight, and then I get another shot at Dersul, who's extremely difficult. That's where my fun died. At the end of the day, I felt like the game was just screwing me over, just to screw me over, and I don't really have too much tolerance for that. The Protect Anne sequences are really what started to build that up, and the Dersul fight in of itself really isn't that big of a deal, but it just tipped me over the edge. It wasn't fun to encounter that, knowing that I'm probably gonna have to protect Anne after that, and knowing that I'm probably gonna have to fight Dersul after that too, because I fought him times before that. So there's my thoughts on Star Ocean Integrity and Faithlessness, or Integrity, because I can't say that after Star Ocean. So yeah, thanks for watching, appreciate it. Hope to see you on the next video. Here's some fun stuff that I saw when I was watching my playthrough of this. Have fun. Oh my goodness. These guys are so cool. They say luff. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Whoops.
This guy is huge. Alright, deck 12. Come on, you're supposed to say it. Yeah, well, oh, I already read that. Ah.
Deck 12. Sick bay.
Hey. Deck 11. Cargo bay. And now we're on deck 12. Deck 1.
The bridge.
Oh, life is hard. Deck 1 is the bridge. Come on. Deck 7. Astrometrics.
The transporter on deck 2.
Deck 11. Ensign.
Deck 2, transport room.
Deck 12. Sick bay.
Halt turbo lift. Use Buckafu.